do, I took her back. Fool me twice, that's my bad. I can even blame her for that. Nothing makes me want to murder. Mama, please just get my bail. I know nobody to blame.
An up-tempo offense. And fans will get to see it all here today in USC's spring game set to kick off just after 3 p.m. Until then, we'll bring you all the action and countdown with you live right here from the Coliseum on Tunnel Vision. Welcome to a beautiful yet slightly windy day at the Coliseum here in Los Angeles. I'm Katie Boggs, and it's great to be back for a special spring edition of Tunnel Vision. For those of you joining us for the first time, this is USC's official pregame show that launched in the fall to give fans an inside look at what happens here on game days all the way up until kickoff. Now, usually, Tunnel Vision is streamed live exclusively at USCTrojans.com and on the USC app. But today we're also live right here inside the Coliseum on the big screen. So for those of you joining us on the web or right here inside the Coliseum, it's great to have you, and we've got a full show planned for you today. In the next 30 minutes or so, well, we'll definitely see the band coming, and that can happen at any time. So when that does, we'll pause quickly so you could hear it. I will let you know you'll hear from Coach Sark before the game. We'll bring you some official USC video exclusives, introduce you to the new coaching staff, and more. We're going to take a look to see if we could see that band coming down. If we are, we'll pause for a moment because there's just no way that we can talk over that drum corps, right? And we want to show everyone at home the band as they enter right here inside the Coliseum as well. So we'll pause for a moment and come back and introduce you to the new coaches in just a minute. Well, just in case the USC Marching Band stays in the tunnel for a moment, we want to go ahead and introduce you to the new staff, starting with the offense. You'll notice a couple familiar names as Sarkeesian retained offensive coordinator Clay Helton and receivers coach T. Martin. Now, new to the program is O-line coach Tim Drevno, who worked the last 3 seasons up in San Francisco with the 49ers. And then we have a couple others that came with Coach Sark from Washington, including Johnny Nansen and Marcus Tuasosopo as well. Now, with the defense, we'll switch over and show you that. He also hired 3 defensive coaches from Washington. They include defensive coordinator Justin Wilcox, Peter Sermon, and Keith Hayward. And D-line is coached by Chris Wilson. Go ahead and take a listen to the band, and we'll be back with you on Tunnel Vision in just a minute. Well, we will bring you a video to introduce you to the coaches in just a moment, but first, I want to let you know what this spring game is going to be like today because it's a bit different than a traditional spring game. So we're going to bring you that schedule so you can see what's going to be happening here on the field in the next few hours. Now, those of you joining us online, we will sign off just before the national anthem, and you could catch all of the action in the spring game live on the Pac-12 network. For those of you with us here in the stadium, myself and Jordan will stay with you throughout, interviewing players and coaches as well. Now, they're going to kick it off with individuals and the 7-on-7 drills. Then it will be split up into team periods and teach periods with a 10-minute halftime. Now, you'll see probably about 100 plays with also live tackling in there as well. Now, by the end of the day, if my numbers are correct, the USC Trojans will have run about 2,000 plays just in the practices alone. If you include the walkthroughs, about 3,000 plays in the past 15 spring practices. And that up-tempo, fast-paced style is part of the philosophy that Coach Sark and his coaching staff brought to USC. And going back to that coaching staff, why don't we go ahead and meet those new coaches now.
My name is Justin Wilcox, the defensive coordinator at USC.
My name is Peter Sermon. I'm the recruiting coordinator and linebacker coach here at USC.
Johnny Nansen, running back coach, special team coordinator.
Keith Hayward, defensive backs coach, defensive pass game coordinator.
I'm Marcus Tuiasosopo, tight end coach here at the University of Southern California. As I see the tight end position, I kind of look at it as like a special forces position. You do everything. You're not just a run blocker. You're not just a pass receiver. And you have to pass protect. So you're actually involved in 3 different things that are very vital to the success of an offense.
You know, with this offense, you're going to get your carries. We'll play up to 2 or 3, at times 4 running backs, depending on, on the pace of our offense. Buck Allen is unbelievable. Justin Davis and obviously Trey's got to get healthy. With Ty coming back too, had a very productive season. So, all those guys will get to play.
We're not going to let receivers get free releases. So whether, we're pressing and playing man-to-man, or we're showing press and we're playing some zone, but we definitely want to disrupt the timing of the receivers, make it hard for the quarterback to throw it and make them throw it in tight windows.
USC is going to have a multiple defense. We're going to base out of 3-4 personnel. We're going to play real aggressive up front. We will be a significant pressure team. On the back end, we play a lot of man matchup coverages so we can try and deny the ball and make it difficult for the offense.
My entire room of linebacker, I want them to play angry. I want them to wake up with in the morning with purpose. I think practice winning. So I want you to go out there and win your rep. If you're covering a tight end, knock the ball down. If you're in your run fit, make the play, and then I want you to just continue to do that on Saturdays when it's game time.
Well, some of the players have already arrived right here onto the field of the Coliseum, and as they come in, they can hear you. It's their first time getting to practice in front of all the Trojan fans here, so feel free to give them a warm Trojan welcome. Cheer them on as you see your favorite players. I mean, they're here for you. We want to see what this 2014 team is all about, and I know they appreciate all of those cheers. So we're going to pause for a moment just to share with everyone joining us online what is happening here on the field, and then everyone here inside the Coliseum can see as well. We'll bump up the music. We'll be back with a live interview with Coach Sark, plus more coming up later on the show of USC video exclusives, talking about the Coliseum upgrades and what's going to be happening right here inside the Coli in the next 10 years and more. But right now, go ahead and take a look at your 2014 Trojans as they enter the Coliseum.
Hold him. Hold him. After him. After you see those.
All right, well, we have head coach Steve Sarkisian here with us, so just a couple questions for you, and then we'll let you get to the team. But I know you run all of your practices, high intensity, a lot of energy, but can that energy level, you think, even be higher today as the players get to be here in front of all the fans?
I mean, how could it not be? It's 72 degrees. We're in the Coliseum. What a better day to be a Trojan, huh? Fight on!
Now, what are you looking for in all of these guys today? And from a coaching standpoint, what's the goal of this practice?
Well, we got a few goals. One is to watch these guys go out and compete. They've worked extremely hard for 14 practices. Now we get number 15 today to watch them compete. Two, I'd love to watch them go out and have some fun. Play football, like I said. We're in the Coliseum. It's a great spring day. And three, to get out of here healthy, to make sure that when we come into training camp in August that we're a healthy football team ready to go compete for a conference championship.
And today is going to run a bit different than most spring games often do, with teach periods in there as well. So for all the fans here and everyone watching at home, talk about what those teach periods are and why they're so important for these players.
Well, they're important for us because we go at such a high intensity, at such a high tempo. We need those breaks in between as if it were a game. So we get them off to the side. We do a little bit of a walkthrough. And while those teach periods are going on, we're going to get some fan interaction, get some of you guys down out of the stands here to participate here on the floor of the Coliseum.
Well, thanks so much, Coach, and we'll be talking to you. We'll be talking to you throughout the entire game. So thanks for joining us.
All righty, thank you. Fight on.
Well, we've got more coming up here on Tunnel Vision in just a moment, but we're going to let the band play as the coach joins all the players here on the field, and we'll be back in just a few. Now, just as Coach Sark was talking about all those position battles and the competitions that will be taking place today, many of those will continue into fall camp, but one that's been decided, at least for the spring, is that number one QB position, which Cody Kessler will keep. Coach Sark just announced that week that he will keep that number one position right through at least the spring, and then, of course, they'll keep competing in the fall. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what Coach Sark had to say to the media about this earlier in the week, and then we'll bring you a video. It's called Pat's Chats. Oh, I guess we're going right to it, so we'll do that now. Let's go ahead and take a look. USC Athletic Director Pat Hayden caught up with Cody Kessler earlier, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that USC video exclusive Pat's Chats now.
So take us through what you think of the conference. I mean, we don't play Oregon and Washington next year.
Yeah, we don't play Washington.
So we play most of the other schools. Have you thought about what the conference looks like, or having to look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, there's always great teams in Pac-12, and it's so hard. And every week, you don't know who's going to win, who's going to lose. Last year there were so many upsets, and I mean, teams that you thought were guaranteed wins, ended up losing. And so, I mean, you have to come ready to play every week, no matter who you're playing, and it's
early test with Stanford. I mean,
that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I mean, Stanford's always great. Oregon, they're always good. We don't play them this year, but
hopefully we do.
Well, yeah,
championship game.
Not in the regular season,
right.
with that. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, or Stanford's going to be really tough, and obviously they're going to want revenge from last year. And but it's going to be a great game.
Bruins. What about the Bruins?
Yeah, that's always got a mark on it for this game. And like us, I mean, we want revenge from last year. And
they played well.
Man, I never realized. I'd always see the rivalry and how bad it was, but I never realized how bad it hurt when you lose those guys last year. Just that feeling of it's horrible. And I know these guys have a horrible taste in their mouth from last year. And we're not trying to look too far ahead, but that's
Yeah,
definitely one that we have marked and we have our eyes on.
Yeah, it's our biggest rival
Yeah.
for sure.
As the USC Trojans are warming up, we're going to have the band kick it off once again, and then we'll be back to tell you about what we'll be doing right here inside the Coliseum during the game. Well, the Coliseum you're sitting in today may look much different in 10 years. Many of you may have heard that USC will be putting at least $70 million into renovating the Coliseum over the next 10 years. And I had the chance to sit down with Mark Jackson. He's the Chief Innovations Officer with USC Athletics to tell us more about what you can expect to see next season and in the coming. Take a look. Well, Mark, a lot of history has been made right here inside the Coliseum over the years. Not as many upgrades, but now that USC's committed $70 million over the next 10 years to do just that, where do you start and how do you spin it best to get updated like some of these other stadiums around the country?
Yeah, I think it's a very important process to begin with, you know, so you want to put a lot of thought and consideration to anything that you do with a historical landmark like the Coliseum. So I think for us, the first thing we wanted to do was surround ourselves with people that understand the redevelopment and enhancement process. So that's what we've done in the initial stages. We have a great team around the table. This isn't just an athletic department initiative, it's the entire university and it's really the entire community around the Coliseum that plays a role in this.
And now I know over 250,000 surveys have been sent out to fans and donors. Of the ones you've received back, what's a general consensus on what fans want to see?
Well, yeah, it's been a great exercise, the survey process, and yeah, of the 250,000 surveys, we received a considerable amount back, completed, and some of the things we expected, and some we didn't.
What are some of the top?
Well, I think that the top one, as always, is parking and ingress and egress into the stadium, you know, getting in through these small vomitories, you know, that were built in the 1920s. It's not easy, right? And you've all experienced the bottlenecking that happens at each one of these exits, and that applies to parking as well. You know, the lots fluctuate week to week, and how people exit and enter the highways on their way home. That was loud and clear that that's something that needs to be addressed. Beyond that, it ran the gamut of improved Wi-Fi and cell service to improved, as we've talked about, restrooms and concessions.
Now, I imagine some of those improvements will take years to complete, but in the short term, will fans see anything new come August 30th when the USC Trojans kick off the season here?
Yeah, we have. We made actually some short-term improvements last year. We brought on a concessionaire in the form of Legends. We hired a new maintenance company in ABM to just talk about, or to think about the general maintenance and upkeep of trash removal. And this year we're looking into a number of different initiatives. Some I can't tell you about right now. But everything from a wireless ticket taker, you know, scanners and things like that, keeping up with technology. Yeah, this project, comparatively to the Heritage Project, the McKay Project, the Watingzu Project, is different in a number of different areas. Number one, the complexity around how many people use this, 85,000 on a given Saturday, that's a lot of people with a lot of different needs. There's also the historical landmark status to contend with it as we think about a redesign and a redevelopment. This isn't just about USC football, it's about the entire community, and its recognition of this venue as an international landmark. When you think about 2 Olympics, a Super Bowl, World Series, a papal visit, all those kinds of things that have happened in here, we have to be respectful of that. The last piece I'd say is the revenue generation piece around a new stadium, because for the longevity and health of our athletic department budget, this is a huge component of that. So we have to make it economically viable for every event that we host in here, that you know, the concessions are run the right way, that we're putting enough people in the seats to generate revenue, that they're spending money at the concessions and at retail and merchandise, all those different areas. So you really want to think through the revenue generation piece, which is much different than the McKay and the Heritage and the Watingzu projects.
And we look forward to seeing all those improvements unfold over the years. Maybe we'll have to come back and revisit these seats in a few years and have another interview.
This is a pretty good location.
This is a great
here.
location, but the seats might look a little different in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, thanks for joining us. Of course, for all the latest on the upgrades to the Coliseum, you can get it all at usctrojans.com.
Now it's almost time for us to wrap it up here so your USC Trojans can take the field. But before we do, I want to give you a behind-the-scenes look at what spring practices have been like so far this season in a best-of series called Mic'd Up.
Here we go, man. Hey, y'all. All right, bring it up. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, all right, big fella. Looking sweet. Over your right shoulder. Oh, yes. Yes. That's a touchdown.
I want to see your mean face. Like, what you look like with game time? You still out there smiling? Grizzly? Did you have that face on when you hit that guy out of bounds late, got that 15 yard? Yeah, did you have a smile? Did you bang him and get a 15 and you were just smiling, huh?
Great punch today and finish. I want to finish today, Zach. Hey. Can we dance out there? Let's go. Great day today. Step over, finish.
We don't want to have 2 words. That's hard to spit out in the heat of the moment, right? That's right, baby. That's right. SC style, baby. Spot on, baby.
We had a little show for the camera down there, didn't we?
Mic'd up today.
Yeah.
Get a drink. Drink. Everybody drink. Grab a bottle and drink. You guys are all college guys. What is it, Delbron? Like 80% of your body's made of water or whatever it is. That means you need a whole head of water, right? Offset. Yeah. Excellent.
Well, the Trojan Marching Band is getting set to play the national anthem, so we'll wrap it up right here on Tunnel Vision. Those of you watching at home, watch on Pac-12 Network, and we'll be back with everyone in the Coliseum in just a few.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum for today's USC football spring game. We hope you enjoy the entire game day experience today, and we remind you to follow the Trojan Spirit